Hey everybody, Jimmy and Peach. I think I like the honey a little better, but I'll take another one. You're listening to Fossil Fuel. Oh, that one went in my ear. Okay. Cheers to Fossil Fuel. Thanks, food. Oh. So, book review time. Whew. No Sanctuary by Richard Laymon. Usually I'll take the paperback over hardback, but I ordered this and I have the paperback too, but now I have the hardback with a different cover, so it's great. So No Sanctuary was printed in 2001, but I read in a review that it was a book that he had for a while, and then it didn't get printed till 2001. So whatever, it's great. It's not the gore-soaked, like super rapey novel that a lot of his books are. Say like for sure, One Rainy Night, The Quake, the Beast House series. This is more like, it's a lot like Tread Softly, in that it's a camping one. And that's kind of seems to be like Laymon's. Well, I guess not really. It seems like he has a lot of camping stories. This one, Darkness Tell Us, Blood Games, The Wilds, they're all, camping based. And this one is too. Well, okay, god damn it. There's a camping story, and then there's a story about a girl named Gillian. And Gillian is like a young girl, I think she's like 20. And she runs her own apartment complex. And what she likes to do is she likes to break into people's houses and stay there while they're on vacation, and have a little vacation of her own, like living in their house, drinking their booze, eating their food. And she really likes to take a shower or take a bath in their tub. That's like the crowning achievement of her breaking into someone's house, and it's like her addiction. And he explains like how she started to do this, why she does this. But she breaks into what's his name? I think his name is Franklin Holden, and Franklin's a bad dude. Let me tell you, he's a classic Laymon villain. And then the second story is about Rick and his girlfriend Bertha, Bert for short. And Bert, she loves camping and she wants Rick to go with her. And he reluctantly agrees because Rick had a really bad experience camping when he was like 12. I mean, it's bad. It's not like nothing supernatural, or like he didn't meet like a Jason or Michael Myers killer or like a cannibal family. But it might be worse. I don't want to tell you what it is because I want you to read it. But something really bad happened to him. So he's just terrified of camping now. But he wants to please Bert. He loves Bert. And so he goes with her, but he takes a gun. He doesn't want her to know about it. He takes a bottle. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was like bourbon. with him, but she doesn't. Bert doesn't like him drinking that much, as because he's kind of an alcoholic, I guess. And so he takes that without her knowing. And that's pretty much it. That's the super basic setup of No Sanctuary. And I guess the title kind of matches. It could have been something better, but that's with a lot of titles. But man, Rick is he's a good guy, but he has some weird thoughts in his head. So, and there's a very limited number of characters in this. Off the top of my head, there's Gillian, Holden, Holden's neighbor Jerry, Rick, Bert. I think this guy's name is Argus, and then Andrea and Bonnie. It's like 8 characters in the book, and it's really easy to keep track of compared to The Stand or Jesus Christ. Like, I'm really upset with Stephen King these days. Like he just overloads you with characters. Anyway, there's 8 in here. That's easy to keep track of, and most of the time it's either just Bert and Rick or just Gillian by herself. And really, there's like a flashback of a death, but there's no gore like in other Laymon books. But it's fine. I mean, I wish I did know when he wrote this, because I think Night in the Lonesome October is one of his best books. But that one's not gore. Doesn't have much gore killing at all in it. And this one probably has less. But when it does finally happen, it's pretty bad. It's pretty gruesome. And just all the, like... I'm going to take another shot. It's all the like Laymon's trademarks of rape and murder and violence and disgusting stuff. I didn't want to say it, but there's a part when the bad guy has a victim, and like she's talking, and he's like, "Shut up! I'm gonna cut your tongue out." And she clams up after that, but then like he starts talking to her, and he tells her, he's all, "Any guy would want to rip your clothes off and fuck you." He's like, "I just have the guts to do it." And I was like, man, this dude is. Because actually, I think a lot of guys would say that, but I mean, you would never, and that's a big thing in here. I mean, you would never do that. I mean, I would never do that. I mean, and then there's people like this. And Holden, in my mind, I at first I imagined John Russo, but then I switched him to Michael Biehn, like a Terminator 2 era Michael Biehn, because Laymon's villains are, I'd say 75% of his villains are just normal looking. They're always white guys, because Laymon's a white guy, so he writes what he knows. So, and they're always just, I guess they're kind of good looking, in good shape, but just a normal guy, basically. Like they're not like deformed cannibals. They're not supernatural monsters. They're just humans, and they're even worse. Like, it's just so like frustrating. Like trying to get horror fans to notice Laymon and like all the great work that he's done in the horror genre and his own type of horror that's really disturbing and really scary. And let's see what else. So Rick and Bert, they're in the woods, and Rick is just, he's really scared. Like he's like a cat. It's like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. And then finally, like, they do meet up with some, like, 3 male campers, and Rick is just on guard, and he thinks they're going to try something. Like, he automatically thinks they're going to try and hurt Bert. And like after they leave, he tells them, he tells Bert like what he was thinking, and he's like, they just want to like rape and kill you. And he's all three of them. They're just bad guys, and he's just scaring the shit out of her. But then she's all like, you're scaring me. So I think these are thoughts that you have. And she's like, what would you do if you were out here with your friends and you came across a girl? Would you like want to rape and kill her? And he tells her, he's like, I would think about it, but I wouldn't do it. And I was like, Jesus. He is a good dude, but he just has some weird thoughts, and like he even questions himself. Like, he's like, why am I thinking like this? He's like, it's these mountains, it's being out in the woods, it just brings out like something in you. That's another aspect of Laymon's great writing. He's just so good, and he just makes you question like what would you do in that situation? I would never hurt anybody. Laymon, like, he really makes you question yourself. This what makes him one of the best horror writers ever. I think to me, he's better than King, better than Kuntz. As far as like, if you're like going for horror, he's just the best, I think. And I give Richard Laymon No Sanctuary a good 4 out of 5 Manos Hands of Fate. And I'm going to take another shot after this. I'm going to wait, though. Yeah, I've read it before. I'm glad I read it again. Dude, I might read this a third time. I read the fucking Stand 3 times. Shit. But yeah, No Sanctuary. There's a part where the girls, like, they think, like, they're worried about these guys camping, and so they just want to fuck our butts off. And I was like, that was funny. There's another, like, bad guy, and he's totally different than Holden. And yeah, Laymon's just good at creating his own weird villains. That just, the only thing I can compare his villains are to like real life killers, like Victor DeSalvo, the Boston Strangler. He's almost like a Laymon villain, and Ted Bundy is like a Laymon villain too. So I'm just rambling now, but just No Sanctuary. Just go to your library, borrow it, or buy it. Just but read it, okay?